Hi, Charles. It's nice to have you today. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Sorry for the audience for the shortcomings. We had to start a bit late for this Tech Forward Talks, but we're already starting right now. So if you're watching from anywhere in the world, we are having the Tech Forward Talk right now, and we're going to be starting very soon. It's nice to have everyone on the call.
Bring that joy. Bring that joy.
Yeah, welcome back. Um, Charles, I think you have to do a little bit introduction. First of all, if you're on this live call with us, follow Views Tribe on the socials. Well, we welcome everyone to the Tech for Talks Friday and visit beautystribe.xyz to learn more about us and what we do as well. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Charles, over to you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. All good. It
Where are
has
you
been.
connected from right now?
I am based in Ireland.
Oh,
I'm based in
that's
Ireland.
good.
Beautiful Ireland. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So on our call today, we're going to be having the customer discovery and idea validation practical strategies for testing and proving a business concept. And I believe you're someone that have been deep into strategy, system, and advisory for startup as well, right?
Indeed, I have. Indeed, I have. I've been in the startup ecosystem for over 14 years now. So I've confronted customer discovery and validation many, many, many times. Not only as a founder myself, but when helping other founders.
Wow, that's good. Very good. Guys, if you're watching live, connect with Charles on LinkedIn, Charles Oak. He's been in this industry for over 14 years. And as you all know, with someone with that experience, that's a big one for anyone listening on this call right now.
Absolutely. Feel free to connect. Feel free to book a call on my website, yourstartupadvisor.com. Yeah, I'm here to help in any way that I can. Budapest. I haven't been to Budapest. One day. It's on the bucket list. It's on the bucket list.
Good. So, Charles, we're going to start this call by you telling us a few stuff about this topic you're sharing today. Tell us a bit stuff about what people that are watching the live stream to know about what we're doing today.
Okay. Um, so customer discovery. Right? Customer discovery is um, validating validating the problem, right? Unfortunately, customer discovery too many times is expressed as idea validation, and therefore founders interpret that as I need to validate my idea, but that's wrong, and that's where the problem lies. Um, you're not validating your idea. Your idea solves a problem, and that is what you need to validate. So customer discovery is validating the problem, validating that the problem exists, and validating that the problem is painful. It's validating that your potential customers are already identified that problem as painful, and they are already trying to solve it one way or another, right? And it's consuming them, either it's consuming them time, money, or sleep. So it's a big painful problem that they need solving. And that's what you're doing with customer discovery, is validating that.
That's very insightful for real. I believe right now we have most people trying to build a product in the industry, and most of them they don't get to validate their idea, validate the product they want to do, and they just go into because we have AI and they just build stuff. for whatever they're doing. So, what would you say for those kind of people that just come up with using AI to just build any stuff at any point in time?
Well, AI is not per se. AI on its own, it's not a problem, right? If anything, AI help us. I praise AI to a certain extent because I'm not an engineer myself. I don't have an engineer background, but because of AI, today I can create software by using Claude Code, for example,
Yeah.
right? Um, but what AI has done is it has amplified the problem of not validating. It has become so easy to build that you have more and more and more entrepreneurs just coming up with an idea, believing that idea is brilliant and fantastic, and just jumping into building because that feels great, right? Building feels fantastic, right? When you're in the building process, when you're in the flow building, you have this idea in your head and it feels so good. So you're just stuck in building, 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 and you completely forget about validating, right? Um, and that's the problem that comes with AI facilitating the building process. The rate of founders realizing people don't want their products is higher, right? So many years ago, CB Insights published this statistic that 42% of startups fail because they built something nobody wanted. But the statistic, the 42%, comes from the founders of those startups declaring the failure. So there is an awareness and a declaration that we failed because we built something nobody wanted. But when you are in the ecosystem, like I'm the ecosystem every single day, working with founders and helping founders, that number is much, much higher, much, much higher. The rate of failure for building something that nobody wanted is much higher than 42%. And AI is only accelerating that, right? Because again, it's so easy to build with AI that I'm like, oh, I'll just consume a few months building my MVP, and then realize, oh, you know what? Nobody wanted this, and I've just wasted months, and I don't know how much money you invested in building it, when you could have done proper customer discovery just for a few weeks, for a month, and you would have known if you are in a good path or not with your idea. So AI is good. AI is good, but it doesn't change in any way the fact that it's even more important in the age of AI. It's even more important to do proper customer discovery.
That's very insightful, Charles. Thank you for that input because we have been having a lot of conversation about this AI validation of idea. Most founders, most builders in the space as well. I've been saying a lot about this, and I'm glad to have it from you with someone with that much experience telling us that AI is good. So to everyone listening on the live stream, also you should know that AI is good because right now you can fasten the process, but still you have to validate your ideas. You have to validate what you are trying to build as well. So before we get to ask some questions relating to this, let's go for a short break and we'll be back.
Cool.
In one word, describe the game's hangout.
Vibrant. Everyone's kind of getting along, playing games.
I would be underestimating if I gave it any less than a 10. Right? I've met some fantastic people here today, so it's a 10.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Especially this drink from Quarter of Cards. Yes, the best drink ever. Passion fruit.
I had a lot of fun. Honestly, I feel I've been in touch with my inner child, which is something I should do more.
Such a different atmosphere altogether. I don't think I have ever been to such an event earlier.
What's your impression of Builder's Tribe so far?
Builder's Tribe just screams community. It's just for the people.
The way you've managed and organized this event, I'm really impressed because it's something that we haven't done before and we were lacking as a community.
It's a nice community. I love how you came up with the idea to network with a lot of people. Networking, chilling, hanging out, playing cards. I love it. Drinks, especially. I love my drinks.
Community coming together. I've met 16 people today, which is really good, and I'm going to take those meetings further. I'm going to just through games.
It is getting interesting, and I think after today's conversation that I had around the table, there's some interesting subject and plan and project coming up.
This tech community is different in terms of the way networking is being happening. There are these young minds behind it, so we get to learn a lot with these guys.
I've been looking for a community such as this for quite some time.
It's a lovely community actually, and diverse. I love that I met some people we work with as mentors in the community, and it's also fun to see some university students joining, so there's a really...
Yeah, we're back, and that was cool. A very nice one. To everyone watching, this is Builders Tribe Tech Forward Talks Friday, and every last Friday of every month, we spill gems for founders building amazing stuff in the space, and for builders and people that want to start up what you're doing. Today, we're talking about customer discovery and idea validation, and we here have Charles Oak that's going to be sharing practical strategies for testing and proving a business concept as well. And right now, we're going to be diving into the questions. If you have any questions as well in the audience, do well to post them in the chat. We're going to bring them up and he's going to answer that for us. Thank you, everyone. So, Charles, I'm pretty much going to have some questions. Like I have personal questions for you on this topic because I'm curious as well. I think this part of practical testing of my ideas is something I personally have been looking forward to before I start building anything in the space as well as a builder, because eventually we are in a time where everyone has to build and everyone has to test their ideas out since we already have AI as well. For this right now, I have a question for you, which is we do have many founders spending months building before speaking to a single customer. Why is that approach a very risky one for builders right now?
Because building is the most expensive way to test a guess. When you have an idea and you don't do any sort of validation and you jump straight into building, it's a guess. And it's a big guess. The reality is the vast majority of the ideas we have are crap, right? But we have this flaw in our system that just because the idea came from thin air, right? And it pops in our head, it's like, oh my God, I just had this amazing idea. And you just jump into building, right? It's expensive. It's very expensive. So it's much healthier. It's much healthier to take your time to do proper validation, right? To do proper customer discovery. And the thing with customer discovery is a science. It's not something you can do out of common sense. Common sense doesn't exist, but you cannot, right? You need to pick up some articles online. You need to do a little bit of research on what customer discovery is and how to do it properly. There are methodologies, there are frameworks that you can follow to do proper customer discovery, right? But building to test, it's incredibly expensive. Like I lived that myself with my first startup many years ago. I didn't validate. I went all in into an unvalidated idea, and it cost me. It cost me a lot. So that's the thing, right? It's not only the money side, right? When you're all in, when you're fully dedicated and committed to your idea, it can cost relationships with friends, relationships with partners, etc. The human part is also affected, right? Because a lot of people around you they won't understand the obsession you have with this idea. So instead of building to test, validate. Take a minute. And when I say a minute, is validation is a month tops. If you do it properly, right? And if you do it quickly, it will take you no more than a month to validate that single idea. So you haven't wasted much. You haven't wasted time. You just taken a month to validate. And now you know for sure if the idea has legs or not.
That's good. For real. Validation is very, very important as well. It will take a month, it will take days, it will take week, it will take asking question. And that brings me to like my second question, which is most times one of the biggest challenge most of these early stage founders usually have is actually knowing if their ideas or their problem is worth solving as well. So for you with much experience, you just shared right now that your first startup you just went all in and you didn't even have to validate your ideas and stuff like that. So what would you say about this? How come founders get to stop this?
Yeah. So the way you identify problems that are worth building, right, is during these conversations, during this what you call customer interviews with your potential customers in the customer discovery process. You're following the money, and you're following workarounds. I'll start with this. The golden rule of customer discovery, and this is the golden rule that nobody must fail at it when doing customer discovery, is you never talk about your product or your idea or your service. Customer discovery is not about your idea. Customer discovery is not about your product. Customer discovery is about the problem you're solving. That's it. It's about the problem you're solving. You're trying to determine, is this problem real? And second, is this problem a painful problem? Right? The example I always give is the same example that Michael Siebel from XYC gives, which is the hair on fire example. If your hair is on fire, I don't have a lot of hair, but if your hair is on fire, it is a very painful problem. You need to put out that fire right now because it hurts, and it hurts a lot. So if someone approaches you with a hair on fire and they give you a brick and they just tell you, just scratch the brick on your head and the fire will be gone, you will take the brick. You won't ask for a glass of water. You won't look at the person and say, oh, do you have a glass of water instead? You're not gonna, your hair is on fire. You need to put out the fire. So you're gonna take, if that's the solution you have right now, you're gonna take the brick and you're gonna scratch the brick on your head to put out the fire, right? So that's what you're trying to identify in these conversations is the entire conversation with your potential customers is around the problem, right? And you're asking questions about the problem to understand it from the customer's perspective, how they define the problem, how they talk about the problem, right? Are there any emotions linked to the problem when they talk about the problem, right? You can see the emotion in the facial expressions or the body language, right? You can notice the frustration in how they communicate, or you don't. Or when they are talking about the problem, they're like, oh yeah, that's not really a problem. It's like, it's not perfect, but I can live with it. If you can read from the conversation. So you're looking for, is this a problem and is this a painful problem? And the other way you determine if this is a painful problem is that the people you're talking to, they are looking for solutions, and they have looked for solutions in the past. Right? And they have consumed time and they have consumed money to try and solve that problem. And they still have the problem, and it is still a painful problem. but they have tried to solve that problem in one way or another, right? And they have consumed time and money to do that. But yeah, it's that's how you know if it's worth building.
For it, this is solid, like very very solid, because the time and the process you take in that problem solving, which is going to take you a lot of resources as well as a founder, and it's going to be a lot for them as well because during those processes they're going to be having like some doubts whether they're on the right track or they're not on the right track as well. And that leads me like to the next question on this call, which is about why do so many founders like mistake positive feedback for the genuine market validation? Because we're talking about okay, the problem, does the problem is it actually worth solving? Is it something we have to solve? Right now when they meet two or three people or when they have to validate between two or three people and they get positive feedback from that, does that validate that okay, this is a good market fit for them?
It the mistake happens because praise
Yeah.
praise when someone praise and gives you positive feedback, praise feels like progress.
Wow.
It feels like progress, and we love to receive praise, right? We love, like, it comes, if you go back to the our root behavior as humans, like if we go when we are, remember when we were 6 years old and 7 years old, when we were kids, and we would come up with these inventions, sort of, and we go to our parents and say, look daddy, or look mommy what I did, and mommy would tell, oh, that's beautiful, hey, great job, that's great, and we love that. Same thing as an adult is, you have this idea in your head, you haven't done any sort of validation, and you go to your friends and you go to your parents and you go to whoever, and you talk about, hey, I had this idea, listen, this is what the idea, and someone listens and says, you know what? That sounds very cool. The reality is, those praising and giving you that positive feedback, they are also reacting from their human nature. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to burst that bubble, that dream you have with this idea. Oh, look at them, so beautiful with their idea. I don't want to burst that bubble. So I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Your idea sounds very cool. That is BS, right? It is BS. It is a slap on the face. The reality is, and that's why customer discovery, that's why you have the golden rule of customer discovery. You never talk about your idea, your product, or your service. Because as soon as you do, there's a bias on the other side of the table. They are biased. They are biased by the fact that you're building something. And therefore, they want to be polite. They want to be polite instead of telling the truth. So when you remove your idea and your product or your service from the conversation and you focus the conversation on the problem, you get honest answers. Your product, your idea has no place in those conversations. But again, the positive feedback feels, it's feels like validation because it feels like progress, and we love praise. But that's not what you want. You don't want praise, right? You want honest answers. You want the truth about the problem, not about your idea.
This is it for real. I hope people on the chat are already taking down the golden rule you just shared right now, because that's one of the perfect thing to jot down on this live stream. And I would get to have my own notes too because I love this take for real. The golden rule is very perfect for this. So on to the next questions, we have customers interviews are often recommended, but what are founders actually trying to learn from those conversations? We do have people send survey. We do have people send out some links, some form to fill because they want to have their customers feedback on what they're building or what they're using. But one thing for founders is, as from your experience in 14 years building in the space and startup space, what do you think they actually want to? What do you guys want to know, like from those conversations?
You want to learn if the problem you're solving and if your assumptions about the problem are real, right? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the truth. Is the problem I'm solving a real problem, a painful problem? And are my assumptions about this problem correct or not? Because when you have this idea, your idea solves a problem, solves a particular problem, and you have this a definition of the problem. And that comes with assumptions. When you define the problem, that comes with certain assumptions. So the interviews during customer discovery are there to for you to learn if your assumptions are correct or not. You're there to learn, how does the customer define the problem themselves? How do they define it? How do they see the problem? And you're also there to try and learn, what is the real problem? Because a lot of times you think you think one problem is the problem you're solving. Let's say, for example, problem A, right? And you go with your idea to solve problem A. And you go into the conversations, and more often than not, you realize problem A is not the right one. There's a deeper problem under problem A. It's like an iceberg, right? So there's a deeper problem that he's solving. Problem A is superficial. There's a deeper one that needs to be solved, that is even more important. So conversations with customers during customer discovery are there to validate, not validate, are there to understand the problem from the customer's perspective. When you go into those conversations with an open mind to learn as much as you can about the problem from the customer's perspective, you will find the truth. You will find, and also it's important to go with curiosity, right? Because as you're listening to the answers that they give to your questions, look for, you're trying to find the text between the lines, the lines, what they are actually not saying. Maybe they are saying something, but their body language says something different. So if you notice a disconnect between what they are saying and their facial expression or their body language, then that's worth digging. And then you can go, look, what you just said about X, can you expand a little bit more on that? Tell me a little bit more about what you just said there, right? And let them expand, let them talk, right? You're there to listen, not to talk. You're there to listen. So that's what you're learning, right? With each one of those conversations, you're learning, what is the problem, right? What is the true problem that needs solving here? Or is there any problem that needs solving here? Because that happens sometimes as well, that you realize there's no problem solving here, right? There's absolutely no problem. But it's not from one conversation, right? So it takes several conversations to do this. So don't take just one conversation and one conversation telling you that the problem doesn't exist, and you're like, oh, okay, this doesn't exist, it's not worth it. That's just one conversation, dude. Just talk to more people. Talk to more people. You need to have several conversations so you start seeing the pattern across the conversations.
Wow. For real, what you shared on this last line is very insightful, because this will help most founders to know that most times they need different conversations so that they could not make mistake on validating their ideas or their product as well. So they can't just go with one answer or one feedback and say that is it. They need to revamp and need to ask more questions and need to also know more on what they're building as well. Thank you for that, Charles. Believe me, those on the live stream, I hope you guys are jotting things down. I hope you guys are taking notes. For everyone that's going to be a founder, for anyone going to be listening later on the live stream, do well to note stuff down, do well to have your pen and paper, jot it, practice it, and make use of it. Because this is life experience, this is life practical strategies from Charles Ope here on the live call. We're going to be taking two more questions, Charles, before we check on the questions from the audience. and get to know if we have one from them so we could ask them as well. And the next question for me is, how can founders tell the difference between what the customer says they want and what they're actually paying for?
Um, Look at their past behaviors. Yeah. Um, Look at their past behaviors, what they have done in the past. Um, have they ever paid to fix this problem, right? Um, have they ever tried to look for a solution? How much time they have consumed looking for a solution? How much money, right? What did they buy? If they pay for anything, to solve that problem, and if they did, then okay, what happened to it? So you paid for something to solve this problem. What happened, right? Is this problem still real, or you know? Um, so that's and then once you have an understanding, right? Once you have an understanding of what they're actually saying, and you have validation that the problem exists and the problem is real, and they still have not solved that problem. Once you reach that point after multiple conversations, you're in a good position to build your MVP. And your MVP should be really, what is the simplest solution to this problem? Like, if I remove one feature of the solution, it doesn't work. So what is the simplest, bare minimum solution to solve this problem? And you take your MVP and you go back to that same people you talked to that validated that the problem exists. And you say, hey, remember me? We talked about that problem, that you were still struggling with. Well, I'll build a solution. Here it is. And ask for a commitment. Ask for a payment. Right? It has to, there has to be some sort of payment in the process when you're providing that solution for a problem that they confirm they have. If they don't pay, that tells you something, right? It tells you something.
Definitely. That tells you something. I'm picking that point. That tells you something. And Charles, if I may ask you, is there like any practical ways these founders can validate an idea before like investing their time and money into building an actual product? Because you mentioned earlier, right here, you said, okay, they should go and they should build it and they should charge for what they're building. So what are the practical ways these founders can validate their ideas before investing time and money into it? You can
Practical
share
ways,
some.
you mean?
Yeah.
Um, well, as I was saying before, right? The customer discovery, doing proper customer discovery is a bit of a science. So what I usually recommend to founders is take your time to learn that science, right? There are a few books on customer discovery, many videos online. There's a great book titled The Mom Test that also provides a great framework on how to create questions for the conversations you're going to have. So if you really want to not waste months and lots of money building something that there's a good probability nobody will want, then invest in learning how to do proper customer discovery. That said, I did mention in the WhatsApp that I do have a gift for those attending, but I'll leave that gift to the end because it's a gift that is related to customer discovery that will simplify, that will make customer discovery simpler and easier for everyone.
I believe that I'm going to stay to the end for real because I want the gift. I'm going to stay to the end. So, to everyone in the audience, you heard that right from Charles Oak. He has a special gift for anyone that's going to stay to the end. So, if you're on this call, do well to ask a question, do well to stay to the end, and do well to collect your gift. Because right here, we're talking with Charles Oak with 14 years of experience in this industry as well. And that leads me to my next question before we take one or two questions from the audience as well. Quickly, Charles, how many customers is enough for a founder to like confidently move forward? How many do you need? Like, is there a number?
There's no one. There's no silver bullet for this. It depends a lot. Like it depends a lot on the industry, right? So if you're talking, for example, if you're building a consumer app, right, for consumers, then you're probably talking about at least 20, 30 conversations, right, with your specific customer profile, right? So it's not just conversations with anyone. When you have, again, I'll go back. When you have an idea, your idea solves a problem. Who has that problem? You need to identify who has that problem, right? Who's your ideal customer that has that problem? And once you've identified who your customer is, then if it's on the consumer end, then it's probably 20, 30 conversations, right? But let's say, for example, on the other extreme, if you're on B2B and not in B2B, like if you're on biotech and your solution is a solution that is a solution for a problem that only a few researchers in biotech have, then my bet is that there aren't many of those researchers for that particular problem around the world. So you're probably, it's like talk to as many as you can, right? Talk to as many researchers on that specific area as you can. Be that 3, 4, 5, as many as you can. But there won't be a specific number. So it depends a lot on the problem you're solving and how big the population of that customer profile is. If that population of that customer profile is in the thousands and thousands, then yeah, go with 30 conversations, right? Again, and that's the beauty of it, right? You don't need 100, 200, 500 conversations. Because at some point, again, going back to the example of consumers, right? If you're having 20 or 30 conversations, at some point, the patterns, they start to flatten. You're not getting more breakthroughs from the conversations. You're not getting any new insights from the conversations, right? You're getting the same repeating insights from the conversations, right? So there's no magic number, but and that's also something that my gift will help with. So my gift will help with helps founders also determine, okay, for your particular idea, you need this amount of questions, or sorry, you need to have this amount of conversations. It gives you an estimate of how many conversations for your particular idea.
That's great. That's great. And this already answered a few questions I wanted to ask earlier, which is how many feedback do founders get to have before they start building, and if the founders are not having like as much feedback as they want, what would they do? But I believe you already answered that already. So we're just going to go to the comment section and we're going to take one question from the audience as well. We have an amazing question from the audience. Let's check it out. I see a question from Meg Green, and let's bring it up. So the question says, what's the biggest red flag that tells you a founder is building based on assumption instead of real customer insight?
The easiest by far, the easiest tell someone is building based on assumptions and not on customer insights. It's when they ask, how do I get my first customers? If you're asking, how do I get my first customers? You have not done proper customer discovery. Because when you do proper customer discovery, and during that process, you validated the problem and you validated that the problem is real, the same people you talk to during discovery, they are there waiting for you. They validated that the problem is real. They validated that the problem is painful. You've built a solution based on that. Sell to them. They are your first customers. They come from your customer discovery process. So the question of if someone says, well, how do I get my first customers? 99.9% of the time, you did not do proper customer discovery. There was no proper customer discovery done. And they're thinking about, oh, I need to do some marketing, some ads on Google, some ads here on Instagram. You haven't done a proper validation.
Okay, that's awesome for real. So to the one that asked the question on the comment, you got that right, and you already have what you need for this. And this takes us to another question we're having on the call, and it says, okay, we have another question as well. It says, is there such a thing as listening to customers too much, and how do founders avoid building a product by committee?
Yes, there is such a thing as listening to customers too much. Your product, again, assuming you've done proper customer discovery, you validated the problem, you built your MVP, and your MVP solves that problem. Your MVP is the simplest solution to solve that problem, right? And when you start from that point, you have a vision for your company, you have a vision for your product. Where do you want to go? And that's your North Star. In that process, if you listen to customers too much, and you take what customers tell you too much, your North Star is useless. And you end up with a Frankenstein of a product instead of the product you actually wanted, right? And the reality is, everyone will tell you, right? Everyone will tell you, oh, I love your product. Could you add this feature? Or you could add that feature. That happens with every single product. Customers giving feedback. Oh, I would love if you had this feature. I would love you have that feature, or feature B, or feature C, or this other feature. If you just listen to every single one of them, you're screwed. You end up with a Frankenstein of a product with many features that a few customers use only every now and then, right? So the best way to approach that is, again, listen to patterns, right? Is as you have the product, as you have your customers, and customers are using your product, and you're having these conversations with your customers, and they are giving you feedback, listen to the patterns. Are they patterns? If there is a particular feature request that keeps coming back from multiple customers, then that's your signal, right? That's your signal, right? So listen to the patterns, and that's how you avoid building by committee. And you stick to your guns as well. Again, you've set your North Star. This is my North Star, right? This is where I want to go. That's the big vision. Now, the path to that vision can change, and it will change many, many times, right? Many, many times. But stick to your North Star.
For real, I'm going to stick to my North Star. That's very great and very insightful. I believe you already did judgment to that question already. And we have one from Ajiri herself, and it says, how do we get our community members to give real and not friendly feedback so we can get brutal, honest validation? This coming from a co-founder. So that's cool. Nice question.
So if you're looking for validation, then you're not looking for feedback. Feedback is it means you have a product, you're showing your product, or you're talking about your idea, or you're talking about your service, and you're trying to get feedback on that, right? Then you're not doing validation if you're talking about your product. You're pitching, you're trying to sell, right? And trying to get honest feedback, it's hard. It's incredibly hard, because there is this inherent behavior on us, that we are, most of us, at least by default, trying to be nice, right? Not burst the bubble, right? Of course, some of us are different. Like I've learned my lessons. So if I'm providing feedback, on something and I believe it's crap, more often than not, I will say it's crap in a polite way, of course. But, I'm going to be honest with the feedback. But most people aren't. Most people, it's very easy to just be polite. It's very easy to just be polite. That's why validation is not about the idea or the product or the service. When you're doing validation, you're talking about the problem. Your idea has no room in the conversation, right? And one thing I want to touch here is that one thing I see too many times is trying to validate via surveys. Please don't. It's surveys are cold, are disconnected. It's very easy for someone to just respond on a survey, whatever they want. There is you're not facing them, you're not talking to them, and you're not seeing their facial expressions, their body language. You have no opportunity to look at a specific answer and dig deeper into that particular answer. To the best of your ability, try to avoid surveys to the best of your ability. And if you're gonna do surveys, then please, by all means, follow best practices, follow proper customer discovery methodology. So all the questions you have in the survey, they are purely designed on the problem. You're trying to understand the problem from the other person's perspective. And that's why that makes understanding the problem via surveys even harder. Another thing I want to say here, because this is another way I keep seeing founders saying, oh, I have a wait list, and I have a wait list with, I don't know, 700 people on my wait list, 700, and they are celebrating, it's like, this feels like validation. Again, because it's some sort of a praise, right? Because I have 7 people that have signed up to my wait list. Who the fuck cares? Sorry about the language. 700 people on a wait list? Have they paid? How easy it is to just enter my email and click subscribe to that wait list. And the reality is, more often than not, the vast majority of people that put the email and click subscribe on the wait list, they're just curious. They're not really your customer. They're not going to pay for the product. They're just curious. It's noise. So again, my recommendation is true validation, right? So you don't waste your time when validating. Talk, have real conversations with the right people. Real conversations with the right people.
Real conversations with the right people. I believe that Ajay already got the information on the audience, and to everyone too. If you have your question, drop it. You're going to be picking from there. I just have a little question for you, Charles, before I go to the chats. We have amazing drop down there on the chat as well. But right now we're in the era of AI, and I would love to ask a question relating to this AI era we are, because it's going to be a very good thing for founders as well, that vibe coding, doing stuff, or trying to build stuff out of Sketch. So with AI making it easy like to build product than ever before, why is this topic we're talking about? Why is customer discovery more important than ever right now?
Because AI is making building extremely easy, right? So it is so easy to build with AI these days, either a mobile app or a web app or whatever, right? It is so easy. You get a subscription with Claude or Claude Code or ChatGPT, whatever your preferred platform, and you go on and building, and it's fun, and it feels like progress, right? And it's fun. But the reality is, for too many founders, for way too many entrepreneurs and founders, that feels like the right thing to do. That feels like, because they are building, it feels like, oh, I'm building, so I'm making progress. I'm talking to my friends about my idea, and my friends are telling me my idea is cool. I have validation. And they commit months and money into something that did not have any legs from the start, because they didn't take the time to do proper customer discovery. And it takes And the thing is, like, it is a science, customer discovery, right? It is a science, but it's not like the learning curve is not hard at all, and it is so much cheaper than building something that nobody wants. Like too many times I see founders just going all in. Like, I say this regularly. Someone posts somewhere or approaches me and says, I've quit my job, I'm going all in on my idea. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? As again, sorry for the language, but without any validation, why would you do that? You had the job, paying your bills, putting food on the table, and you're going all in on an idea that you haven't even validated. You could have validated, as it would have taken you a month and another paycheck, and you would have known if that idea has legs or not. Anyways, that's why.
Yeah, thank you very much, Charles. Like, for real, this is very, very insightful. Like, you're going all in when you don't have what you want to do already, and you have things already sorting your bills, and you just want to go all in. We're gonna be wrapping up this quickly because I think you've shared a lot of alphas, and you really solved a big problem for people watching this
I
right
still
now.
have the gift before we
Yeah,
wrap up.
yeah,
I still have,
definitely. You're gonna give the gifts. So just to wrap up, can you just like share practical frameworks founders can use or tools founders can use? And if any founder on this call right now, can you just give them like one take action to go on with this week, this weekend to work on?
Okay, so here's the gift, and I'll respond with a gift, right? There is a platform that can help you with customer discovery. It's specifically designed for customer discovery. It has all the methodologies and the frameworks, so you don't need to do the research and the learning on what customer discovery actually is. So go to where can I type this? Can I type this somewhere? No, I cannot type this anywhere.
Yeah, you can on the chat.
So go to on private.
No, on the normal chat. The normal chat.
So on the stream, I cannot. It says sending messages only supported for
Okay,
hosts.
okay. I'm gonna type it for them.
Okay, so go to Evident. So it's EVIDNT. So there's no E after the D. So evident.ai.
Wow. Okay.
Did you send it?
Yeah, I'm sending that.
Okay, so evidnt.ai.
Okay, so people on this call, it's going to be your advantage to have this. And here goes the gift.
Yeah, so that's the platform, evident.ai. Go there, break down your idea. The first step on the hero section, you will see a tool to break down your idea. Put your idea there, get the breakdown, sign up, right? And by signing up, you're gonna get the full breakdown of your idea, the proper questions to ask, what questions to ask for your idea. These are not standard templates. No. It will understand your idea, and it will generate and give you what are the questions you should be asking in your conversations. Who's your ideal customer? Where to find them? And ready to use templates for those contacts, for those first contacts, to reach out to those individuals, right? And here's the second part of the gift. You use the code BUILDERS, capital letters, so BUILDERS, BUILDERS, capital letters. That's a 50% discount on the Pro plan, which is, by the way, a one-time purchase. There's no subscription on Evident. Because customer discovery is a particular stage, it doesn't go forever. It's a one-time payment. And so with the code builders, it's a 50% discount. And it's up to 10. So the first 10 to redeem the 50% discount, get it. Yeah, that's the promo code in capital letters. So all caps, right? It's all caps, builders. The first 10 get the 50% discount. So there are only 10 redemptions for that code on evident.ai. And that will give you everything you need to do proper validation. And you can continue to do the validation in the same platform because you can log the conversations there. Evident will extract the insights. It will extract the patterns across your conversations. And eventually Evident, as the more conversations you have, the better. And eventually Evident will tell you, okay, this is where you stand, right? This is what's happening across all your conversations, across everything. And it will tell you, does your idea have legs or not?
Wow.
All right.
All right. This is awesome for real because right now I'm already typing to get my own promo code.
Yeah.
You don't get to miss a free gift like this online most of the times. It usually happen like once in a while, and this is awesome. This is great. Charles, this is very good. I believe you're going to be wrapping up this live stream right now. It was a great conversation as well, from customer discovery to validating your idea, to how to validate your idea, to the ways to you sharing us this amazing gift for 10 people on the live stream. And I believe people here will be very, very appreciated for being part of this live stream as well. And to everyone, we are going to be wrapping up in not less than few seconds. Thank you, Charles, and
my pleasure.
See you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you got some value from this.
Yeah.
And go validate properly. Please validate properly.
Definitely. Okay, guys.
In one word, describe the game's Hangout.
Vibrant. Everyone's kind of getting along, playing games.
I would be underestimating if I gave it any less than a 10. Right? I've met some fantastic people here today, so it's a 10.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, especially this drink from Court of Cards. Yes, the best drink ever, passion fruit.
I had a lot of fun. Honestly, I feel I've been in touch with my inner child, which is something I should do more.
Such a different atmosphere altogether. I don't think I have ever been to such an event earlier.
What's your impression of Builders Tribe so far?
Builders Tribe just screams community. It's just for the people.
The way you've managed and organized this event, I'm really impressed because it's something that we haven't done before and we were lacking as a community.
It's a nice community. I love how you came up with the idea to network with a lot of people. Networking, chilling, hanging out, playing cards. I love it. Drinks, especially. I love my drinks.
Community. Coming together. I've met 6 new people today, which is really good. And I'm going to take those meetings further. I'm going to just through games.
It is getting interesting, and I think after today's conversation that I had around the table,
Bring that joy.